back in Pennsylvania. I've been here every presidential election cycle since 1996. I don't normally speak from notes, but I'm from Texas. And we've had a pretty bad week, so I don't want to bring any more shame upon my people by messing up. We've actually had a pretty bad decade. So, before I get started, I actually wanted to say that currently I work in the Obama administration. I'm a proud civil servant trying to roll up my sleeves and help create jobs. But I'm speaking today in my capacity as a civilian. As Harry Truman likes to say, the highest office in the land is that of citizen. And so that's how I am here today. And I brought my disclaimer that I'm supposed to tell you because I'm not speaking here as a representative of the government. So this is my disclaimer. I am a partisan. As Nita said, I am a Howard Dean Democrat from the Wellstone wing of our party. I am left of center, like Nancy Pelosi left. I'm a Bill Clinton pragmatist, I'm a Harry Truman populist, and I'm a Barack Obama idealist. I live in the light of my former governor, Ann Richards, the last sane woman to run the state of Texas. I dream with the faith of my hero, Dorothy Height. And I organize with the passion of Dolores Huerta, who said, "Que viva la huelga." I work in my day job at the Department of Labor to preserve the legacies of Lyndon Johnson and Dr. King. I don't necessarily look for hope in politicians. I find it in freedom riders, in suffragettes, and in a Dutch woman named Miep Gies, who helped to hide Anne Frank and her family. As my dad likes to say, I am a bleeding heart, and as I like to reply to him, after all, a heart that doesn't bleed is stone. For you Republicans out there, I am also a Teddy Roosevelt conservationist, an Abraham Lincoln abolitionist, and a Ronald Reagan optimist. I try to lead in the tradition of Mahatma Gandhi, I try to serve in the spirit of Mother Teresa, and I try to love in the name of Jesus. I am probably a Sarah Palin socialist, a Rick Perry federalist, a Glenn Beck communist, and a Michelle Bachmann terrorist. I want to acknowledge that. I adore former Congresswoman, the late Patsy Mink, the first woman of color in the Congress, because Title IX made sports interesting and we need more women on the athletic field. All right. Yes. I am, like my friend Marjorie, I am a Hillary Clinton feminist. Yes, this is what one looks like. I believe in equal pay and equal rights, a level playing field, but most of all, I want you to know that I'm not sure that women are equal to men because most of the ones I know are better than us. I believe in the fiscal policies of my fellow Texan Lloyd Benson, who helped balance budgets and create a record surplus when he was Secretary of the Treasury, a budget that Marjorie helped make possible with her historic and courageous vote. I believe in the consumer rights that are championed by Ralph Nader and now Professor Elizabeth Warren. Thanks to them, I can breathe the air, I can drink the water, I can survive a car crash, and I can understand my credit card statement. I am an Al Gore environmentalist, a Jim Wallace evangelist. I think Michael Pollan is a genius, and I wish I could be Fareed Zakaria's roommate. I believe that funding for public schools should outpace funding for weapons programs. I think that growing old in America shouldn't mean growing poor. I believe in unions, including teachers' unions. And I think a war on poverty is very different than a war on poor people. I'm a Jimmy Carter Dove and a Madeleine Albright Hawk. I'm a fan of Itzhak Rabin and Robert Gates, who's not bad for a Republican. I am anti-war and pro-choice, all choices. I am anti-gun and pro-life, all lives. I'm against the death penalty and for the legalization of marijuana. I believe in the rule of law. I think that privacy is a fundamental American right, so is education, and by the way, so is healthcare. I don't think that a mosque can desecrate ground zero. Only hate can. I believe that prayer, all prayer, consecrates hallowed spaces. I am okay with taxing the rich to help the poor, as long as everyone has a fair shot at becoming one of the rich who gets to help the poor. I am the 99%, and I mean that in every way, because on this Veterans Day, we should remember that over the last decade of war, 1% of us did all the fighting, and all the dying, and all the waiting for someone to come home. And 99% of us didn't have to bear that burden. And today we honor the men and women who did that for our country. I believe that we are all beholden to one another. I believe in immigrant rights and civil rights, voting rights and women's rights, LGBTQ rights and property rights. I don't think that God is a DJ or life is a dance floor. But I'm pretty sure that Jesus was a brown, Jewish fellow, and that the Sermon on the Mount was the first Democratic stump speech in human history. Blessed are the poor. Blessed are the meek. My fellow Democrats, that's our base vote. And remember what he said, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Remember that? I believe in human rights for all people everywhere. I believe in gay marriage because our weddings are better than yours. I believe in gay adoption because lesbians usually raise gifted children. And I believe that more gay people should be elected to public office because, folks, our Twitter mishaps would be scandalous. I believe in affirmative action, I believe in diversity, and I believe that a government cannot be by the people or for the people until it is first made up of the people. People like Ambassador Sadiq, the first American Muslim to be appointed as a U.S. ambassador in any presidential administration. I do what Oprah Winfrey tells me to do because she's usually right. I move when Michelle Obama tells me to move because, my God, have you seen her arms? I sit wherever Rosa Parks says I'm allowed to sit. I am Team Aniston and Team Jacob. I am a sucker for a smile and for toned abs. I am an Asian American who stands on the shoulder of giants. Giants who survived Chinese American exclusion and Japanese American internment. My Filipino brothers fought under our flag in World War II, and my South Asian peeps refused to let that flag be tarnished by racial profiling after 9/11. I am a partisan. I have opinions. I have convictions. I think that standing on principle means that you have to remain standing, even on your tiptoes as I'm doing. But I also retain the right to change my mind. It is my birthright to disagree, and I aim to do so without being disagreeable. I am a liberal who feels your pain, and I am a progressive, an aggressive progressive who plans to do something about it. In short, I am a proud Obama Democrat.